I got a 15-month-old. I love him, but he's very exhausting. That's where I'm at too. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I would do anything for my daughter. But then I got to think, like, if she asked me to kill somebody, would I do it? Well, no, unless that person did something, and then maybe, I don't know. I'd have to ask Liam Neeson. Within reason, I would do anything for my child. That being said, I'm just like, this is my happy place right now, where it's I got like another few hours before I pick up my daughter from daycare, and then we start like a 5-hour playtime, which is just like her pulling out like a Mickey Mouse, a Minnie Mouse, and a Donald Duck, and then her going, "You be Mickey, I'll be Minnie." And I say, "Okay, that's great. How are you doing, Minnie?" And she says, I'm doing great, Mickey, how are you?" And then she says, "You be Donald." And then I say, "But I'm already Mickey." And she says, "Yeah, you be Mickey and Donald." And I'm like, "Hi, Minnie." And she goes, "Hi, Mickey." And then I go, "Don't forget about me, quack, quack." And then she goes, "You be Mickey, Minnie, and Donald." And I'm like, what the hell are you going to do? My ass is out here improving like for hours on end in a voice that hurts my throat, 3 different voices that hurt my throat. And you're out there in like your toy kitchen, like cooking up some microplastics. Like, I don't understand. I'm like, "You gotta be Minnie." And she's like, "I don't want to be Minnie anymore." And I'm like, "Well, I'm not gonna be Mickey and Donald if you're not gonna be Minnie." I can't wait till she's like, I got pissed off by, not at her. I saw a video on r/chess that was like teaching my 2-year-old how to play chess. And the 2-year-old, quote unquote, was fucking like 3'8", and they were picking up the pieces and actually making legal moves with them, like putting them in the center of the board. And then people were like, "Wow, you got a really smart 2-year-old." And the OP was like, "Yeah, I know, we're very blessed." I'm like, this motherfucker is like 7. You guys have not seen a toddler in 100 years. I got a 3-year-old who is very smart. If I try to teach her how to play chess, she's literally just gonna knock all the pieces off the board. And then I'm gonna like be like, "Don't do that," and then she's gonna laugh, and she's gonna do it again. Like, this is not the time yet. You gotta wait till she's like half 3 to put it in the British parlance of our times. Working at daycare with 5-year-olds, they still have a hard time with the rules of Connect 4. I'm gonna say one thing. I'm gonna say skill difference, but I think that is fair. Like, it takes a long time for kids to not be like really dumb. You forget, like, at some level as an adult, life is easy. Like, the misery and the malaise and stuff like that is not necessarily easy, and the tragedy, but like opening the fridge and like getting a glass of water is easy. Or like if someone is like, "Here's a board game," and all you do is roll the dice and then move, you're like, "Oh, I rolled a 6, how many spaces do I move?" You know what I mean? Like, you'll figure it out pretty quick. Well, this is a good start. Yeah, it's easy until you're 80. Well, you should not have brought Twilight Imperium to the senior center, okay? It is fucked up to think that your brain is like an organ and not like, you? Does that make sense? Like, I think my niece is 12. Her brain is worse than my brain. It's just an objective fact. Now, when she's 55 and I'm 80, that's gonna be reversed. Something's wrong with our society, because if I went up to my niece and I said, "My brain's better than yours," I wouldn't be invited to Christmas dinner anymore. We can't handle honesty. But it sucks that it's like, you know, on some level, like, your intelligence is dictated by the sheer weight of the organ in your noggin. Like, that's crazy, man. That's not fair. It's like, I was thinking about it when I was playing like Super Auto Pets, is like, it sucks that, like, well, maybe it doesn't suck, but it's very bizarre that we're aware of the fact that our brain is an organ and not our personality. And what availed me of this, and if you just got here from the raid, you're going to be very confused, but thank you for the raid. What availed me of the fact that it's so strange to know that your brain is not you, it's just an organ that's part of the composition of yourself, was that I was doing a calculation in Super Auto Pets that wasn't explicitly mathematic. It was like a decision-making tree that I had to go through. If I do this, then this will happen, and then if I roll twice, I'll have a chance to get this, and blah, blah, blah. Whereas if I go the other way, et cetera, et cetera, it is weird to think that you can't just get to the answer. You know what I mean? Like, you have to say to yourself, like, hang on a second. Like, if your heart rate is too high, you're like, whoa, wait a second, I gotta slow down. The idea that your brain is actually like, it's got all the inputs it needs to do the calculation, but you have to sit there and wait while like the meat transistors like send the information in exactly the right way to then spit out the answer that was there to begin with. Like, you know what's surreal, and I'm sure you're gonna relate to this. It happens all the time. What's surreal is when someone asks you something. They might say, like, who's the director of I Heart Huckabees? You can know that you know it, but not know the answer. Like, you gotta search for the answer. That's crazy, man. There's like multiple levels, okay? So it's somewhere in your brain, it has a little box that says David O. Russell, because that's the answer. And then there's like another part of your brain that's like, I know we have an I Heart Huckabees director box in here somewhere. Just give me a minute. Like, it doesn't have access to the VAR, but it knows that it exists at the same scope. So then that motherfucker's out there crawling through every neuron, like, and you can almost sometimes, the second thing that's crazy is you can be like, wait a minute, I almost have it. That's crazy. Like, you could be like, hang on, the little dude in my brain is almost at the right filing cabinet, and then you go, David O. Russell. Oh, I knew it. That's fucking weird, dude. That's crazy. I don't have any answers for it. I'm just saying, just thinking about that is weird. And that's weird enough. That's cool enough. It is dumb. It's also dumb. And then the other thing that's not fair is, like, some motherfuckers just have like a naturally faster dude. Like, my dude for memory retrieval is like pretty good. I'm relatively good at trivia, but there's some people, I watch some Jeopardy, average Jeopardy episode, I'm like, I could maybe hang 1 to 2 somewhere, depending on the week. Tournament of Champions, I'm like, these motherfuckers have a better dude. They got a better dude. They got a better dude crawling the loam. My little dude about to be off the payroll. Some days my little dude off the damn perk. I don't really know what it means, but man, can you not mindlessly just keep on dying for 30 minutes? I'm sorry, I suppose this kind of cognitive science meets philosophical discussion of what it means to be the only life we're aware of in the universe that's actually aware of its own conscience. That's a dime a dozen these days. What's not a dime a dozen is some fucking serviceable Lies of P gameplay. Good Lord. I just think it's, and it doesn't have to be a conclusion you draw from this. It is an interesting observation that you can know that you know something but don't know what that something is. The same way you could be like, I know I've got a AAA battery somewhere in this drawer. I don't know its location, but I know that, I don't know its specific location, but I know its generalized location. That's crazy. Like, it's not just like a little, it's not a solid state drive up here that is like, you can have that shit instantly. Like, you gotta kick the shit out of your brain sometimes. You gotta be like, no. I really want this one. And they're like, fine, okay, I'll shovel some ATP into this task because you've delegated it as a priority. I don't want to though. I don't want to. I don't want to multiply two-digit numbers in my head because I'm gonna have to do it in two parts, and then I'm gonna have to dedicate some memory into holding the first result and then adding it to the second result. You gotta be like, bro, who do you think gave you the calories, dumbass? Do what I say. That's what dopamine pisses me off the most. Dopamine is the reward mechanism, the chemical that makes you happy. Your brain makes it, and then it hides it from you, and it only gives it to you when it does things that like your evolutionary code tells you is like a good thing to do, in which some things have hijacked, like sports gambling to begin with. Let's not even go down this road. And I'm like, bro, who do you think ate the fucking goldfish that gave you the nutrients in order to fabricate the dopamine? Give me my fucking dopamine. I spent my money to eat the goldfish. You turn that shit into dopamine, and now you're like my dopamine. It's not your dopamine. It's my dopamine. It's all you? Yeah, but it's not doing what I want it to do. So that part's not me. No, I'm not high. I don't have to be high to think about this stuff. Probably have to be high to watch like any show Netflix has produced in like the last 4 years. This is a sober discussion. Don't start the singing, then you can't stop. So true. When you were young, you were the king of Austin Powers. And now you kidnap Nigel Powers as his foe to get the man of mystery to show. This is the room one afternoon where Fat Bastard ate you. And how Felicity Shagwell shagged him real well to place a homing device where no one dared to dwell.